Okay, guys, welcome back to the Ground Up. Um, Today I'm going to be talking about something it's a touchy subject for me, but I felt like I just should address it. So, with that being said, I'm going to just get straight into it. Before I do, I actually want to say that if the person that I'm going to mention, I'm not going to mention any names or anything like that, but the person I'm talking about, if they manage to see this or whatever, then I just want you to know that it's nothing vindictive or anything like that. It's just a matter of me expressing myself and just trying to produce good content. So yeah. So with that being said, let's go. There was a basically there was somebody who I've been like really close to. Um, this girl in particular, we became good friends. I met her somewhere. Not gonna say where, but yeah, I met her. We became real close. And by the way, if you don't remember, I'm an Entp 8 Wing 7. She was an esfj. And the thing about esfjs and Entps, if you guys follow socionics, you'll know that esfjs and Entps are activity partners, is what it's called, activity partners. And that means that activity is usually very easy to get to know and easy to get along with and to spend time with. Very easy. And so, we built a really strong connection. It was a really good friendship, I would say. But the thing is that over time, so people would start to believe, people that we knew around us started to believe that we were a thing, and that wasn't the case. We were just friends. But eventually, that did become a thing for me. I did feel that way, that I was starting to become interested, and that's what this is about. I pretty much that went downhill because so the thing is that we did have a connection, and I do believe that we both cared about each other, but as for it was a friendship, and once I started to become interested, that's when everything started to go downhill because so pretty much there was a lot of stuff that she was dealing with, and we had talked about that, but then another subject got brought up after a while of us hanging out and always spending time together, and it was how I was interested in her because I'm a very straightforward person. I'm an ENTP 8 Wing 7, and everything that I feel, I'm most likely going to say it. And see, ESFJs are filler types, and they don't like to just tell people things that might hurt their feelings. They don't like to tell them those things, but she did not tell me, and it sort of played out the way that it did. I was thinking that there was nothing wrong, and that every day she knew I was interested in her, but she was, having a good time, and I thought that maybe that was possibly, you know, it was what it was. So another thing is that something that I know is that she was talking to somebody, but she. The thing about that is that that's something that she eventually she wanted me to realize that she was actually talking to somebody, or she wanted me to accept that. The way that she went about it was not obvious to me because as a ENTP, as a thinker type, as a giving me clues or whatever, that doesn't process in my mind. When people try to not hurt your feelings or whatever, that doesn't process. By going around beating around the bush or whatever. That's why I talk straightforward, because if anything, that's just gonna make me confused. And I'm not saying that's her fault or anything like that. It's just how, you know, thinker types don't think about that naturally off the top of their head. It's something, I know this because it's something that I study, but it's not naturally something that we would think about. And I also understand that it does sound pretty sleazy that I was trying to talk to her even when she had somebody that she was talking to. It's not that I was trying to talk to her, it's more like we had the connection. And so I told her that I was interested in her because I value, I want to be truthful. If I'm going to be hanging around her and I'm actually interested in her, that's something that developed over time, first of all. But if I'm going to be interested in her, I don't want her to think that I'm just trying to be her friend whenever, maybe there's something else going on. Maybe I feel another way. And so I felt like I had to tell her. And I told her, I said, I wanted her, whatever it came out to be, if she wanted to, date the other guy, then that's what it is. But if she doesn't, then I'll be around, and that's sort of how it went. But another thing about that is that I feel like our friendship is sort of disconnecting now, and I believe it actually has to do with the conversation that we had. And I know that's the case, but the reason why is another thing that I want to talk about. It is not, like I said before, I'm not shooting shots or anything like that. But basically, ESFJs, something I realized about them is that what she was looking for, even though we had a connection, she had criteria that I didn't pretty much meet. And the thing about the criteria about ESFJs is that they value status and money. Because that's from my experience with ESFJs. I'm not saying that everybody thinks the same, but generally speaking, I feel like if you have FE as your main function, you're worrying about what other people are thinking constantly, then most likely that's going to be one of your top criteria. If you have a connection with that person or not. And so I feel like that's where the disconnect really was. It's not that, for me, a connection is a connection is a connection. We simply we spent a lot of time together. I spent most of my time with her, hanging out and everything, and we were having a lot of fun. And there's even been times where, you have a date where not a date, where you have a day to where you go and go somewhere, and it's like such a small thing that you guys do, but it's very memorable. And we were having those days, but I feel like she was really making sure that there wasn't too much of that because of how close we were getting, because of that criteria. And like I said, I'm not shooting any shots or anything like that. I'm not, it's not vindictive or anything. This is just something that I've noticed. Everybody has their flaws or whatever you want to call it. Everybody has their tics or, whatever it may be. But something that I will take out of that situation is that even though she is like that, and I know that's the case because it's not just me thinking these types of things. It's I've heard stuff, and I'm not going to say exactly what, but it just, plus it seemed almost as if she was particularly looking for those people, but the people with looking for people with status and better financial situations, because for one of the things that she actually tried to do in order to show me that she was not wanting to talk to me but wanted to talk to the person that she was talking to was that she called him while I was there. But the thing is that in my head that just made me think there's less of a chance that she's going to go out with that person because of how how much of a lack of connection there actually was between them. It's like yes, she wanted to date him and he did want to date her, but there's a lot of people that want to date people, like date each other for different reasons. They don't have a connection, you know. There's a lot of different reasons, like financial gain, you know, lust, you know, it's whatever. It doesn't. Here in the conversation, I've learned that everybody has value, right? Everybody's important, and everybody's different. So when I say this, I'm not calling the guy that she was talking to whack, but I definitely think the connection was whack. Like it didn't have any true. It sounded like nails against a chalkboard, you know. It was very obvious. It was really hard for me not to. I would say it was hard for me not to like laugh a little bit. Of course, I didn't like do it outwardly. I didn't like laugh outwardly. I held it in, but it just wasn't. It wasn't authentic. So yeah, I know it's pretty shitty that I still want to talk to her, but I think that that is like a bad thing. I feel like in a way, but there's still something that I took out of that connection that I've had with her is that we still had a good friendship and something I'll never forget because even in the end, it's bittersweet. It made me happy to be able to connect with somebody, but then again, she has that criteria that you know, and that's something that she possibly has to work on because I know that definitely it's obvious to me that she wants something that isn't necessarily going to be there for, you know, you can't go living your life trying to like you see a connection and then you cut it off because it doesn't meet that certain criteria. Like let's say, for example, if I connected with somebody on a deep level, but then I said, well, I only like to date girls who are like brunette or something like that, you know, and so I say, well, she's a connection, but she's not a brunette, so I can't go and like talk to her. But that's my personal opinion. I don't whatever it is you think about that situation, I don't really care. So that's you. But I mean, I do care, but I don't care what you know. What I think about me is what I think about me. But yeah, you guys, that's all I really have for now. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you like the video, like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. Bye.